Hey, welcome back to the dungeon. That's what I put another thing on the wall. It's we're gonna change this. I'm in a storage room and it's becoming more and more obvious each and every day. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a record today that kind of briefly came up anyway, in a roundabout way on our latest episode, which if you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out. It's with Eric Grubbs. He is the author of Post, a book that takes a look at the influence of post-hardcore from 1985 to 2007 is kind of like the scope that they look at. And for sure in that book, he talks about, it's a great book. Go read it. I've pimped it a lot. Is that the word? I've talked about it a lot. Anyway, this record for sure comes up. This record, of course, being Diary by Sunny Day Real Estate. So I thought we'd take a look at this beautiful vinyl reissue that I have. This would be I believe it was the 20th anniversary, maybe, reissue. Anyway, it's on, I believe, yes. It's just on like classic black, which if you watch the Dashboard Confessional video for Places You've Come to Fear the Most, you know that I talked about how typically, most often, if they have a black pressing, I'll grab that. But because, I think I said because I like kind of the classic look to it. Anyway, one thing that's really great about this pressing, it's a beautiful gatefold. The artwork is fantastic. Solid record through and through. But one thing I wanted to talk about was with this 20th anniversary pressing, it's not just, like a lyric sheet that you get with it. It is a full glossy book. And what's so awesome is the first few pages of it are notes from, let's see who we got in here. There's a couple of obviously notable names. It kind of tells the story of how this album came to be. You got quotes from the guys from the band. You got quotes from Jonathan Poneman, who obviously was from Sub Pop, who signed them. Who else you got in here? I did see there's also a random quote anyway from Ben Gibbard. Obviously Death Cab for Cutie. And it just kind of tells the story of, how Sunny Day Real Estate came to be a band, how this album came to be. And then it does also have the lyric sheets and, some of the artwork, the pictures and whatnot in it. So that's pretty fantastic. Now, one thing I wanted to say about Sunny Day Real Estate, I don't know about you, but I was introduced to them through I believe it was the Batman Forever soundtrack, featuring the song 8. That soundtrack had Seal on it. It had U2 on it. It had The Offspring on it. There was a bunch of stuff on that record anyway. But Sunny Day Real Estate, kind of like this standout band, was on there. And the song that was on there was the song 8, which wasn't originally on this record, but with this 20th anniversary repress on side D, it is on here. So that was pretty rad when I picked it up. But I can remember when my parents bought our first family CD player. We bought a 5-disc changer. We had a receiver, speed. It was a whole system. It wasn't just a CD player, it was the whole system. And so when we bought it, we didn't have any CDs. So my parents said, well, let's all go and pick a CD. And some of those CDs I can remember that we came home with were like Eric Clapton Unplugged, like the MTV Unplugged performance. What else we had? We had a Boyz II Men record, a Montel Jordan record. And then the record that I picked was the Batman Forever soundtrack, and put it on and listened to it. And yeah, the song 8 by Sunny Day Real Estate just like stood out to me. I was like, what is this? At that point in time, I had no idea what post-hardcore, what emo was by any means, but the band name and the song always stuck with me. So, as I kind of grew up and eventually, really got into punk rock and then all of, kind of the subgenres that come along with it, the band name Sunny Day Real Estate kept coming up. And I was like, Sunny Day Real Estate? You mean the guys on the Batman Forever soundtrack? So I decided at one day to finally check them out. And when you look at Sunny Day's catalog, the artwork for Diary is something that just jumps out to you immediately. And if it doesn't jump out to you, it's because you're not looking at it. LP2, I believe, was just like a pink cover. And then, from there, whether you're a fan of, kind of the latter Sunny Day Real Estate stuff or not, You know, it is what it is. But Diary, the artwork was always so, because I'm pretty sure I had these toys that they're kind of replicating here, you know, the classic, no arms, just a face, and then they got like the round bottom. Anyway, you can like, are they Little People? I'm trying to think if that was the name of the toys, Little People. Anyway, whatever. This record just kind of takes inspiration from those and kind of makes them real depressing like. But yeah, so when I saw this 20th anniversary pressing of Diary, I thought that's pretty cool. I kind of have a tendency when collecting records to either collect records that meant something to me, you know, as I mentioned, in like those years when records were not really being pressed or not selling as much, kind of early 2000s sort of thing. So Dashboard Confessional, The Places You've Come to Fear the Most, was a record that, like, an album that meant a lot to me, and so when there was a repress I bought it. And then also finding very rarely original pressings, but repressings of records that kind of help define or really like kickstart genres or what have you. And so, you know, Sunny Day Real Estate, we'll get into some of those as I kind of like talk a little bit more about my record collection and what I have. But Sunny Day Real Estate Diary was definitely one of those where I became familiar with it over the years, much, you know, further after it came out, much later. Streaming services were kind of really the big thing where, you know, finally able to actually dive into these things. But yeah, this pressing, I thought that's pretty cool. 20th anniversary pressing, looks fantastic, gatefold presentation, and, you know, just really nice all around. And this is a huge bonus. Reading through this is kind of neat. I always love kind of hearing about how, you know, big records come together sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, I should have said right off the top, hey, if you're just digging into this because of Sunny Day Real Estate, we got a podcast here. I did mention the podcast, I guess, called Growing Up Punk, which is also the name of the channel, go figure. You can find it on all your major podcast apps, so go find it. This one being because of the interview with Eric Grubbs and talking about his book Post and just kind of a lot of those records, those albums that happened that really pushed the genre forward. So I decided to dig in. But yeah, go check out the podcast, Growing Up Punk. You can also find us on our website, growingpunkpod.com, and on all social media at growingpunkpod. But yeah, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. Thanks for checking it out. Were you ever into Sunny Day Real Estate? Do you have any anniversary represses? Because I've got some represses on vinyl that I think are pretty great that were anniversaries. And they're pretty fantastic. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for checking it out, and hopefully we see you back soon.